Hello everyone, this is Jasmine from Jazzdraws Art, and I am back yet again with my Outlander playing cards series. This series will continue after I finish these cards as well, when I decide to do decks for other shows and books and things like that. So if you really like the series, make sure to give these videos a thumbs up, let me know, and if there's anything you'd like to see possibly made into a card deck, let me know and maybe I'll take a shot at it. Alright, so back at it today. We are starting with the Queen cards now that we finished the Kings. And I am doing Claire Fraser, Queen of Hearts. Obviously, you can't make Jamie the King of Hearts and not have Claire be his queen. She is definitely the queen of his heart. And not to mention, I think it's also a little fitting because she's a doctor, you know, she does surgery and stuff that, you know, works with hearts, Queen of Hearts. So I think that this is a very fitting suit for her. I decided to go more with a look that fitted the earlier seasons, just so that way she kind of matches Jamie's card, because his card is from like season 1 or 2 looks. So I wanted to make sure that she matched with him like that. I was doing just a quick little rough sketch here to get the idea of what I wanted to do with her. I have drawn her before and it turned out really well, so I'm hoping that this time that it can turn out as well as the last one did. I had fun drawing her again. I really like the earlier seasons looks, although she's had so many great costumes. I just kind of like the kind of like wild, more old-fashioned, I guess, look to it. It's just some of those dresses were simply beautiful. Like, because they were so simple and everything, it just, you know, it, instead of the costumes wearing her, she wore the costumes kind of thing. And so that she was more the highlight piece of it. And so I wanted to make sure that I had something that, you know, showed off Claire's personality as well. I didn't draw her arms folded because I didn't draw arms for, like the lower parts of the arms forward, just because I didn't do that for the other cards. But I thought, what shows more of her strong-headed personality than that? So it also had the right look to it. She was looking in the same direction like the other cards were. And so I thought this pose and this picture reference was perfect. And as you can see here, I jumped forward to after I spent all the time going back and forth to edit it to make sure I got a nice clean line art and finished sketched line art. So that way I could start filling it in with the colors. The colors were a little difficult because I still wanted it to match the color scheme of the other cards to stay like around the same brightness, but also the saturation in the photo I chose, because she's in certain type of sunlight and light editing from the show. It was a little hard to get what her true color is, because I know she's supposed to be more pale and everything and have very dark hair. But I still wanted the hair to be light enough that you could see the individual texture of the hair as well. I really enjoy drawing her. Actually, she's very relaxing to draw somewhat. Although I'm always stressed that I'm not gonna get the likeness, right? I did struggle a little bit, as you can see, with the eyes and the eyebrows. The eyebrows are the hardest part because I know that they're not technically the same color as her hair, but for the sake of making it easier to print the cards, I kept her eyebrows the same color as her hair. And also, curly hair is a little bit of predicament for me. It's hard to get it to look like it's actually curly and not just like messy drawing. But I think I'm starting to get the hang of it now after drawing quite a few characters like this. And she and Jamie for sure have very strong, bouncy curly hair. So I wanted to make sure that I showed it off. I know typically she has her hair more up in an updo, but I know that in the later seasons she also has it down a bit more, like pulled back in like a ponytail or with headscarf or things like that. And that she does have her hair down off and on throughout the season, so I think this was a nice compromise because it's still pulled back, but it's still down. Personally, I would love to wear a costume like this, or Claire's costumes in general. She has some of the most, like, beautiful and flowing dresses in the show, and I love it, especially in the earlier seasons. There's nothing against the newer seasons, but I kind of really feel connected to, I'm still pretty attached to the earlier seasons, the way they had the dresses. I used to love the big full skirts and the nice upper bodice of the dress and everything. And of course the France costumes were gorgeous. That's why in my last drawing, if you want to see it, I'll link it in this video, her red dress from France, absolutely stunning, and I love the color and I love the material. I just love that dress so much. I don't think I could quite pull it off, but Katrina can do that for me as Claire. I'm totally fine with her doing that. For some reason, I found it actually a bit harder to blend the two of these versions of her in the reflected and the top and the bottom, to line them up to look like they're symmetrical, so that way when you flip the card over it doesn't look like she's changing position or that she's uneven, because she had a lot of different lines going different directions, and not to mention that her arms are tucked in more to her sides than the others, and so it was hard to make sure that it lined up with the bottom and that everything matched. I think I managed to get it, but I did end up cutting her midsection short just so I could make sure she fit into the card without going much too over the edge. I think the end result, though, is pretty good. As you can see, like I did with the other cards, I took the liberty from the other card of Jamie's and just took where it says the king and the heart and the little frame, just to make sure that everything lines up and stays within the same parameters. As you can see here, I pulled up a queen card for reference just to see how they do the Q, so I could follow that in its place. Now, I try a few different techniques. I thought I could use this marquee tool because I thought I had a rounded rectangle shape that I could use, but I didn't, so I tried using the shape tool, which did have that shape, but I couldn't quite figure it out because I haven't used that function before. So I tried once again with marquee tool to see if I could make the lines with that and just round off the edges, but it didn't look quite the way I wanted it, and it didn't quite turn out, so I ended up just trying to draw it myself anyways. Because it's such a particular shape, you'd think it would be easy, but it's actually a little bit harder, a little trickier to get it than you think it is. I wanted to make sure that it stayed the same consistency as the king, and so I just drew one part of it and then copied, pasted, and flipped it, and then connected the pieces. But when I did that, the filter I had to turn the lines red kept making the other piece disappear. So I really struggled with trying to make sure everything worked, but it did. In the end, I finally got it to all come together the way I wanted it to. I had thought about just doing a regular Q, but I wanted to make sure to actually look like a card. So I really wanted to follow through with the most common Q that I found when I searched for queen cards and the cards that I do have. There's just something really cool about personalized custom cards to something you like. It just has that unique feel to it, something that you have that other people don't have, kind of like a collector's item, but definitely worth something having and using. And I also think it's so cool to see like my art or my friend's art on something that people can use and people can hold. It's tangible. It's so cool. It's really rewarding and something that I haven't really been able to do very much, but I look forward to making a lot of products like this in the future, and so I hope you guys like this one. I know I've been doing a lot of Outlander, so once in a while I am going to be throwing in some videos that are more like my old videos, and maybe try something newer and bigger when I get the time to get the projects done and the filming done. As you can see, I'm making sure I reference from Jamie's and I get the background the same. So I take the background from his and I copy it and paste it into hers, making sure it lines up the same and making sure that that red filter doesn't affect it. I had to fix a few options there because for some reason it wasn't clipped to the layer it was supposed to be anymore. So I made sure I fixed that right away. Cleared up her eyes so the plaid wouldn't be behind them. Made sure that the skin wasn't going past the lines too much, cleaned it up a little bit. And here we are. Finally, I just made sure that everything was saved the way it should be. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, here is the finished piece, Claire Fraser, Queen of Hearts. Stay tuned for next week when I upload the next Queen video for the next Queen card. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Alright, love you guys. Bye!